It was just another evening at La Belle Étoile, the kind of place where a single glass of wine costs more than most people make in a day. Crystal glasses sparkled under golden chandeliers. Laughter floated between tables like delicate perfume. And in the corner sat a man who had everything and yet nothing at all. Daniel Carter didn't look up when the waiter refilled his $300 Bordeaux. His designer suit probably cost more than the waiter's monthly rent. His watch, a rare Patek Philippe, could have fed a family for a year. Yet as he scrolled mindlessly through emails, pushing away his untouched seared scallops, something felt empty. Another perfect meal. Another lonely night. Little Mira pressed her tiny hands against the wrought iron gates. Her stomach growled so loud it hurt. She watched as a waiter threw away a tray of barely touched food, roasted vegetables, half a steak, warm bread rolls. Mama used to make bread like that, she thought, before the sickness took her. Before Daddy said, "I can't do this alone," and never came back. The waiter spotted her. "Get lost, street rat. You'll scare the customers." Myra's bare feet were cracked and bleeding. Her dress, once yellow, now gray with dirt, hung loose on her bony frame. But what hurt most wasn't the hunger. It was the way people looked through her. Like she was invisible. Until tonight. Through the patio doors Mira saw him. The man sitting alone. The one with all that untouched food. Maybe. Just maybe. Her tiny heart pounded as she pushed open the heavy door. Where did that urchin come from? Someone call security. Disgusting. The head waiter rushed forward, face red with anger. But Mira was faster. She reached Daniel's table, her whole body trembling. Sir. Can I eat with you? I haven't eaten in 2 days. The entire restaurant froze. A millionaire, homeless child, and a question hanging between them that would expose every broken piece of this glittering world. Daniel stared at the tiny girl standing beside his table. Close he could see. At the way her collarbones jutted out like wings under her dress. At the old bruise on her left cheek, yellowing at the edges. At the hope in her eyes, fragile as a soap bubble. Shall I remove her, sir? The waiter's hand hovered near Myra's shoulder. Daniel stood so fast his napkin fluttered to the floor. No. That single word silenced the room. Bring another plate, he said louder now. The best you have. And make it quick, she's freezing. As Mira climbed onto the plush chair, her bare feet dangling far above the floor, Daniel did something unexpected. He knelt. Now eye level with her. He gently wrapped his linen napkin around her shaking hands. What's your name, sweetheart? Mira, she whispered. Well, Mira, Daniel said, placing warm bread in her hands. Tonight you're my honored guest. The moment the bread touched her tongue, Myra's entire body shuddered. A tear rolled down her cheek, cutting a clean line through the dirt. It tastes like Mama's, she choked out. As Mira ate, the whispers started. Is he serious? That child belongs in an orphanage, not a 5-star restaurant. Disgusting, she probably has lice. Daniel's knuckles turned white around his water glass. Then Mira said 3 words that broke him. I'm not trouble. Daniel froze. What did you say? Mira stared at her lap. My daddy said I was too much trouble. That's why he left me at the hospital after Mama died. Her voice was so small. But I can be good. I promise. Daniel remembered his 7-year-old self, sleeping in subway tunnels, stealing food just to survive. The way people called him trash like it was his name. Daniel stood, addressing the entire restaurant. Look at her. His voice cracked. Really look. She's 7 years old. 7. And she's been surviving on scraps while we throw away enough food each night to feed a dozen children. A woman in pearls dropped her fork. The head waiter stared at his shoes. Then from the back a slow clap. 1 busboy. Then 2 waiters. Soon half the staff was applauding. But Daniel wasn't finished. He turned to Mira, kneeling again. You are good, Mira. And you're coming home with me tonight. As Daniel's luxury car pulled away from the restaurant, Mira sat curled in the passenger seat, her small fingers tracing the leather interior like it was made of magic. But the real miracle wasn't the car. It was what happened next. Daniel adjusted the heat vents toward Mira. Warm enough. She nodded, eyes wide as they passed glowing skyscrapers. Is this your car? It is, Daniel said. Then softer. Do you know what today is, Mira? She shook her head. The day I stopped being poor. Mira didn't understand. Daniel had been rich for years. But he knew. True poverty wasn't about money. It was about the hole in your heart no amount of champagne could fill. Daniel's penthouse was all glass and moonlight. Mira stood frozen in the foyer, afraid to touch anything. This is too nice, she whispered. I'll mess it up. Daniel knelt before her. Nothing here is more important than you. He ran a bath, something Mira hadn't had in months. As the steam rose, she asked a question that shattered him. How long can I stay? Not can I stay. How long? Like she expected this dream to end. As long as you want, sweetheart. Sunlight streamed through the windows as Mira woke in a bed softer than clouds. The smell of pancakes and bacon curled under the door. Daniel stood at the stove, flipping blueberry pancakes, just like his foster mom used to make when he was little. Myra's eyes welled up. You remembered. Of course he remembered. Every hungry night. Every kindness. They sat eating together, syrup dripping, laughter floating. It was the restaurant manager, Mr. Carter. The staff took up a collection. Daniel frowned. For what? For Mira. And the man cleared his throat. We've decided to donate all our untouched food to the shelter down the street. Starting tonight. Daniel's throat tightened. One small act had started a revolution. That evening, as Daniel tucked Mira into bed, a real bed with clean sheets and a stuffed bear, she hugged him tight. Daniel, she whispered, I think you're the richest man in the world. He kissed her forehead. I think you're right. Because true wealth wasn't in bank accounts or luxury cars. It was in the weight of a child trusting you enough to fall asleep in your arms. The way a simple pancake breakfast could feel like a miracle. The knowledge that one moment of courage, from both of them, had changed everything. And so the millionaire who had everything finally discovered what everything really meant. Not in boardrooms or bank vaults, but in the quiet moments, in second chances, in love that comes when you least expect it, but need it most. Because sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is let someone see the empty chair at your table and invite them to fill it. 1 year later, Mira, now in a school uniform, helps Daniel serve meals at the shelter, whispering to another little girl, Don't be scared. I was just like you.